Hello again, my dudes, welcome back to the channel. This is Kadima bringing you another Elden Ring DLC build video, this time using, yet again, the Black Steel Twinblade. That's right, I actually like this weapon, it's one of my favorites from the DLC, but this time I decided to make a bleed build out of this weapon. Very useful and very effective. The Black Steel Twinblade scales when infused with blood. Strength D, Dex B, Faith D, and Arcane D gets a passive effect of 101 blood loss buildup. Attack rate goes up to 557 when you two-hand this weapon with the two-handed sword talisman, so it's not really high, but with the bleed proccing and all the boosts and the bonus and the damage that we get from how we are going to use this build, this is quite strong, especially in PvP. In PvE, quite normal, nothing OP or broken, but still very fun to use. I'm using the Sword Dance as an Ash of War for this weapon. Keep in mind that the attack power of the weapon comes mostly from physical, but there's a sprinkle of holy damage in there, but nothing to be paying too much attention to. White Mask is a must-have for this build. We're gonna heavily focus on Bleed. Leadus Armor, because the running R2s of this weapon are absolutely insane. They do a tremendous amount of damage, especially with Leadus Armor, and also because it looks nice. Verdigris Gauntlets and Verdigris Greaves just so give us a little bit of tankiness, and our poise goes up to 64, and our defenses are not too terrible. Shard of Alexander is another one that I recommend using, but you can easily switch this one for the prosthesis if you want to have even higher damage with consecutive attacks. In the arena, I don't find that you're going to get both to proc, because either the opponents are going to be dead by then, or then just the bleed will kill them. The Lord of Blood's Exaltation is also another must-have, and as I mentioned before, the two-handed sword talisman. For buffs, Exalted Flesh is the only real thing you need in the arena. If you are doing PvE, I recommend, of course, having the Old Spice as usual, and the Flask of Wondrous Physic. You can go big or go home and use the Blood-Sucking Cracked Tear and the Thorny Cracked Tear. Of course, the Mimic is also there for PvE. I have no issues with using it, especially for my build videos. Now, as I was saying before I show how to use the build, stats 151, Vigor 58, Mind at 10, Endurance 35, Strength at 18, and Faith at 13, so we can wield the weapon, and Dexterity at 80. Now, as I was saying, the best part of this weapon is this attack, the running R2. It combines really well with an R1 straight after that, or with a Sword Dance as well, especially as a finisher, because sometimes the enemies will just try to roll away, and this is quite good at roll catching if they try to roll away from you. But also the jumping R1 is actually quite good, and the jumping R2 is good if people are trying to heal or something. It's a good finisher. And that's pretty much it. The Sword Dance, I never really use the third hit, but you can risk it and try to use it. But that's pretty much the build. Let's see it in action. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. I do appreciate the support. For my regular viewers, thank you for the continuous support. Enough talk, let's watch the examples. Starting with the usual suspect, the Black Knight, we're gonna go with the Exalted Flesh, Old Spice, get that flask ready for when we are close enough. This is enough. Time to outspace him, dodge that tongue, running R2, and then Ash of War just for a bit of stun damage. He actually fell down, and then we'll just finish him off with R1s. GG. Now for the Blood Fiend, as usual, the Mimic continues to see his therapist because he's still obsessing with those outside the fog for whatever reason. But here we are. Try to get that HP back up. Give myself a little bubble for protection. Time to get that Exalted Flesh if I can. There we go. Get the flask ready. Unfortunately, I dodged quite poorly there and ended up getting hit. And you don't want to use the flask until you're full HP, because the flask is going to take some HP per second. But here we are. I'm actually getting hit way more than I intended. I got hit straight after I healed as well. But then I thought, you know what, I'm wasting too much time here. I'm just gonna go heal and full offensive and get rid of this guy. Got hit again, but doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna spam R1s and R2s and finish him off. GG. Now for the PvP, we actually have quite a good start. We're gonna finish this guy in pretty much just one move. Just trying to outspace him here. Running R2. Didn't manage to get that one, but then this one R2 connects with the sword dance, finishing him off for the roll catch. Now this is going to be a bit of a longer one. He's using the flax. Unfortunately, he's basically just trying to outspace me the whole time. He's not really being very aggressive. Considering he's got a lot more armor than me, I gotta play clever here. Still managed to get a running R2, not fully, but still way more damage than he did me. Get that second running R2, and then another R1 to finish him off after the roll. Now this is going to be a quicker one. It could be even quicker, but this guy wasted way too much time being friendly, which is fine. I appreciate that, but unfortunately it does delay the build video a little bit. He does that nonsense with the Ash of War. I run R2 and then Ash of War for the win straight away. GG. Now this one is going to be a bit longer, not too long though. He's coming with the Fire Knight Great Sword, which is an amazing weapon, and if you doubt it, go and check my Giant Dad build video as a tribute to the legend from Dark Souls 1. But also because I wanted to use that weapon as in the only weapon in a build video, and I decided to do it now. So check it out, guys. Anyway, let's finish this guy off with the sword dance. GG. Now for the next one, gonna be a fast one. This guy is coming with the footwork, which is okay. Does quite a bit more poise damage these days. As you saw, it did interrupt me. I managed to catch him in the air and actually still land quite a few hits before he managed to recover. Didn't land the R2, the Ash of War, despite the bleed proc, but didn't kill him. Now this guy, I actually was playing quite terribly. For whatever reason, I wasn't engaging much because I was kind of on the back foot because of his spells and incantations. Here they come. But then I thought, you know what, this guy has pretty much no armor. He's not even going to do that much melee damage. Why am I not just chasing him down? And that's what I decided to do. Just chase him down, try to get those roll catches with the running R1s. Got 2 in a row, but then he's going to roll until he runs out of stamina, and I finished him off when I realized that. Now this guy, I actually fought this guy twice, not in a row, but he's showing up again later down in the video. He's going to learn the hard way how hard this weapon actually hits and how amazing the bleed procs. He's pretty much 1 or 2 hits away from bleeding, and as you can see about that running R2, pretty much just finished him off with the Ash of War. Now this one, it was quite a quick one. Just got that Exalted Flash going. He tried to cast a little spell, but I dodged it quite straight away. He decided to change for the Milady. Easy running R2, and then another running R1 for the roll catch. GG. Now this guy, I used the Exalted Flash. As I was coming towards him, he attacked, so I attacked him, but then he kind of looked surprised that I did. Maybe, I don't know if it was strategy or he was just actually surprised. But here I am, trying to get those running R2s. Gotta dodge that, because that does a tremendous amount of damage. And then he comes with a Milady, and that's actually the end of him, because he got too close, and I managed to finish him off with a running R2. Now this guy comes right on my face, which is not convenient, but not a problem. Get that running R2, but unfortunately I only did 60 damage, but then this one did nearly 900 damage, so I recovered pretty much the disadvantage I had. Now trying to fool him into thinking that I'm not going to run attack, which I am, and here we are, run attack for the finish. GG. Now this is the same guy as before, but this time the fight was quite quick because I just went with the running R2, sword dance, broke his block, but then I just finished him off with an R1. GG. As you can see, the build is quite okay. The bleed is quite easy to proc, does a nice amount of damage, nothing insane, but when you combine the bleed with the buffs, the damage you get is actually quite neat. And I enjoy the Twinblade. It's a nice new weapon. There were other Twinblades before in the base game, of course, such as the God Skin Twinblade, but I like this one quite a lot. I like the look of it. I like how the range and the hitboxes, they feel just right. Of course, if you guys have another preference, you can always try to apply that preference to this same sort of idea. Now for the next fight, it's going to be a quick one. This guy is coming with the katana. That's not gonna end well. I tried to get the running R2 but didn't hit him. This one did for 1000 damage, and then the jumping R2 for another 600 damage for the win. GG. Next guy is waving hello, so hello to you, my friend. Funny build, the lag, you guys can probably see the lag, it's actually quite terrible. But that's not gonna stop us from win. Gotta dodge that knock on the floor and then do the running R2. Still managed to get one of the R1s. Nice 900 damage nearly. He decided to change to Radagon's hammer, which is fine. I'm just gonna outspace that and then just run R2 for the finish. GG. Next one is someone using as well a Twinblade, and he's buffing it with the bleed flame, which is quite nice. And then he did surprise me when he decided to use wings. Now I understand his idea. He's trying to proc the bleed by using the wings with the weapon fully buffed, but I rather play it the way I have it. I find it to be more efficient. GG. I actually fought this same guy straight away, so he actually made it to the video a second time, but this one was much faster. I didn't really give him much chance. I just wanted to be done and go to the next round, trying to just outmaneuver him, but then he decided to only block, and I just finished him off with a running R2, R1, R1 combo. Next fight. Hello, my friend. He decided to use this spell. I gotta applaud this guy. I gotta give it to this guy for trying to use this spell. Maybe in invasions is good, but in the arena it's one of the most useless things you could possibly get. Trying to get those running R2s, unfortunately only got hits here and there, but he's got the rot when he was trying to get me the rot. But the fight is nearly over. I just played carefully because I wanted to try to flawless him. But the fight goes on. He does that a second time, and then I just finished him off with the sword dance. Now this is going to be a very quick fight. This guy, I don't know, maybe he didn't realize what I was about to do. He started casting spells, but then he quickly decided to try to go melee with me, which is a terrible idea. That running R2 nearly killed him, and then the R1 combo just finished him off. GG. Next one, it's gonna be a good fight. He's also using a colossal weapon. It's the Fire Knight Great Sword. Again, that thing hits like a truck. I love that weapon, but I'm quite okay without maneuvering it, outspacing it. Gotta be careful with these R1s, but then he was absolutely exposed. Got that sword dance second hit to proc, and then I finished him off with a running R1. GG. Now for the next one, a guy using Rivers of Blood, which is funny because he's using Rivers of Blood and my build is completely focused on bleed, but I think mine is now way more effective than the Rivers of Blood are nowadays. And that was the fight in a nutshell. But anyways, guys, this is going to be the last one, and it's going to be a very quick one. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, I ask, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It helps a lot. Leave a like, comment, share it with your friends. and I'll see you guys in the next build video. Take care. Thank you all for watching. Cheerio!